people think about purpose, buzzwords that come to their mind are things like being rich, being successful, being married, basically having life all put together. But can I bust your bubble a little bit? Purpose really isn't about all those things. So today we will be talking about purpose. Last video we talked about why people feel lost in life. But in this video, we will be answering that foundational question of what is purpose. Now, for a lot of people, when that word comes to their mind, they think about things like, oh, being rich, being successful, being married, achieving one form of, milestone in life. But the honest truth is, that really isn't what purpose is. Purpose, let's make it as simple as possible, as easy as ABC, as they say, simply means what is the reason something was made or created. Words like what was the intention, what was the aim, what is it used for? Those are words that can really truly define what purpose is. So if purpose means the intention, the reason why something was created, when we are talking about your life purpose, we are asking the questions, why were you created? Now you must understand this truth that everything that exists is made by someone, it was created by someone or something. Nothing just randomly existed. And likewise, you as well. And that is why you must understand the fact that you are a creation of God. And God, being the manufacturer, had something in mind when He created you. Yes, you heard me right. God had something in mind when you were created. You were not an accident. Yes, it wasn't one of those cozy days that your parents decided to be, and that you were the result of that beautiful, event. No, you were created, orchestrated by God. Your parents may have accidentally, conceived you, but God did not accidentally create you. And that is one truth I want you to have in the forefront of your mind as we go on, even with this video today. So, purpose is the intention of why you were created. And that is why it's so important that you understand that God created you with a reason and intention. And even before you existed on this side of life, God already had a reason why He needed you to be born even to the earth. So when we say purpose, we say that purpose is the reason for your life. When you don't know the purpose of something, the honest truth is, abuse becomes inevitable. That was what Miles Monroe said, and sincerely, I agree with him 100%. When you don't know the use of something, there is no way you wouldn't misuse it. I don't know if some of you have ever, watched that old cartoon by, I think it was a Disney cartoon, The Little Mermaid. Now here is Ariel, the cartoon character, who had never seen, some objects that are used by human beings. She was a little mermaid. And what did she do? She found a fork, and she thought the fork was useful for combing her hair. And so she used it to comb her hair. When you don't know what something is for, you are bound to misuse it. And that is why when anything is created, it is always created alongside with a manual. Every manufacturer always makes available a manual telling you how something is used. The device that you probably have with you came along with a user manual. The electronic device, maybe a television, a blender, or one thing or the other, they all come along with a user manual so as to know the reason why this thing was created. And likewise, you. So when we talk about purpose, purpose basically means living life intentionally. And it requires you to be able to align your values, your passions, and everything in life That is when you truly begin to have a sense of meaning to your life. So there's a difference between just surviving life. When you understand purpose, you truly begin to thrive. Now, let me clear up something very important. Remember that being rich, successful, all those descriptions, they are not purpose, like I had said earlier, but they are only experiences that we have in life. Some have the privilege to have the experience of being very rich, while some don't have that experience. Some have the privilege of being, successful in their careers. Others don't have that same experience. But however, they are experiences. That isn't what defines your purpose. Or some might say, oh, my purpose is the CEO of this company. Or my purpose is to be a mother that does this and does that. Or my purpose is to be a spouse that. Guess what? That also isn't purpose. Those are just roles that you play. And the beautiful thing about those roles is as your seasons of your life changes, your roles as well changes. I mean, look at it. At a point in time in your life, you were just a baby. You were somebody's son, somebody's daughter. As you began to grow, you began to take on more responsibilities. Maybe you became a leader in your school, or maybe you rose into management position at work. One thing or the other, your roles began to change as the seasons of your life changed. So that also is in purpose, because purpose doesn't change. Purpose remains the same. Purpose goes is consistent through life seasons. So what is purpose? Purpose is the reason, the why, the that driving force of why you were created. Now, another important truth I would like you to note is the fact that purpose does not change simply because of the experiences you have in life. Now, some people have gone through difficult experiences in life, which may include abuse, accidents, loss of a loved one, or one thing or the other. They've experienced so many things. But guess what? All those things do not impact on your purpose. Your purpose still remains the same. However, those experiences that you have would help to shape how you give expression to your purpose. And that is why you can meet a person that has a very similar purpose with another, but their expressions and their experiences are different. And so their message or the way they relate their purpose to others are slightly different. They can never be 100% the same because they are not the same people. They don't have the same experiences and all. So please note very importantly that purpose remains the same. It doesn't change no matter what you have been going through or what you have gone through or what you are going through. Your purpose will always remain the same. So always remember that your purpose is not something you determine. However, it is something you discover. Remember, I mentioned that you were created by God. And because you were created by God, you are, you find out, you discover what that purpose is to which God created you. So no matter what it is, remember that purpose is something that comes from the manufacturer, the creator. Okay? So when you know purpose, guess what it does? It answers two very foundational questions every person has asked. Is either has asked, is asking, or will ask. And those two questions are, who am I? Who am I speaking about your identity? And the second one is, why am I here? Speaking about your assignment. Those are questions that we all ask ourselves from time to time. And until you find those answers to those questions, you will find that life continues to feel unfulfilling. And that is why it's so important that you find the answers to those questions. And that is why I'm here on this channel to help you and to guide you to finding those questions and finding the answers to those questions. So you are not just created to make a living, you are created to actually make a difference in life. So I would like to draw the curtain on this discussion on what purpose is. However, I would like to let you know that in the next video, we'll be talking about 5 truths that you should know about your life's call, and probably 5 things you don't already know. So if you enjoyed today's video, if something resonated with you, please go ahead and put it in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And I would really like to ask you a question. When you think about purpose, what comes to your mind? Put it in the comment section. I'd love to engage with you. So till we see you again next video, take care and keep living life purposeful by design.